Yesterday, we talked about the news of...
By the way, it's Steam just officially responded. Hero, hey, check him out even before we start the video, but let's go. Why is it loading now?
Yesterday, we talked about the news of Steam getting censored, removing certain games, depicting certain adult-themed material. Apparently because payment processors were telling them that if they don't remove this content, they're not going to continue facilitating transactions on the platform.
Which
Steam
is bullshit.
Taking those threats seriously enough that they actually bent the knee and removed the games that were being complained about, more or less, obviously.
So these credit card companies are just gonna refuse us payment, even though we have the money? Because they're like, we don't want you to buy these games, but you can buy, you know, corn, and you can get a paid subscription to OnlyFans, and man, that's some bullshit. Not our anime armpit simulators, no! I want them back!
I'm not going to recap the entire situation here in the intro of this video, so if you want more context on all that stuff, please consider checking out yesterday's video. In this one, however, we have an update as outlet gamingonlinux.com has reached out to Steam and claims that
may violate the rules and standards set forth by our payment processors and their related card network and banks. As a result, we are retiring those games from being sold on the Steam store because loss of payment methods would prevent customers from being able to purchase other titles and game content on Steam. We are directly notifying developers of these games and issuing app credits should they have another game they'd like to distribute on Steam in the future.
Valve has responded with the statement that reads, "We were recently notified that certain games on Steam may violate the rules and standards set forth by our payment processors and their related card networks and banks. As a result, we are retiring those games from being sold on the Steam store because loss of payment methods would prevent customers from being able to purchase other titles and game content on Steam. We are directly notifying developers of these games and issuing app credits.
I didn't know he would just read it.
Like to distribute
Sorry.
on Steam in the future." On July 17th, the plot thickens even further, though, as just yesterday, Australian organization Collective Shout, an activist group, specifically a feminist activist group, has taken credit for this recent censorship, and they issued a statement with a lot of explicit words, really trying to make themselves look as morally virtuous as possible as they go after video games. Speaking of which, as Permaban pointed out...
So that's where we gotta fight back. Good that the front is identifying itself. Let's go bash their heads in! Of course. Non-physically, of course, right? Non-physically. Just, you know, internet-wise, fight back.
Here, they had previously gone after Detroit Become Human, accusing it of depicting CSAM material. I guess it's a bit of redundancy there, but you get the point. And violence against women. Even making a petition to get it removed from Australia or entirely.
What?
I'm not 100% sure the context to that. You know, the petition's probably long gone, but...
Detroit Become Human? Isn't that the game where you're playing an android? And the android slowly, like, develops human feelings? Or something like that? Isn't it a game that shows more humanity than, you know, most of these feminist collectives?
Yeah,
what the fuck?
They don't like Detroit Become Human. Very offensive game. Shouldn't exist, apparently. But now let's take a look at Collective Shout's annual report. Some interesting stuff going on here. They claim to have 0 full-time employees, 1 part-time employee, 4 casual employees, 2 full-time equivalent staff, and 15 volunteers. An estimate of 15 volunteers. Not a big organization by any stretch of the means. Let's take a look at their income and expenses. And let me remove myself so you can actually see what we're taking a look at here.
How is it in the hundreds of thousands? How did you time that perfectly? Stop, by the way, please. How is this in the hundreds of thousands? These are expenses. surplus. Oh. Oh. Is this monthly or yearly?
Specifically, we're going to take a look at total revenue right here, $458,043. We can also see that they have earned about $390,000 of that through donations and bequests. And they pay out their employees $107,000 essentially. So yeah, not a big operation going on here at all. Presumably you've got like 15 volunteers and then you've got that 100K.
Two. The equivalent of 2 people working full-time. 4 employees, part-time employee, let's say 50%. So we have 2, 4 and a half. 6.5 people. Is this monthly? Because it seems like that's a whole lot of money for just 6.5 people in a month. Really shooting themselves in the foot.
Divided annually, of course, between...
There's also a moment in Detroit Be Human where you can choose to turn into lesbian exotic dancer androids.
These employees to some extent. Maybe the full-time staff are getting the great majority of that, most likely to be the case. And you know, it really makes you wonder, how much good is the organization really doing? Like, oh, hey, we're going after video games. Let's get like,
video games. How terrible!
Hey, maybe we can all make some money. Those of us who are quote unquote full-time staff or part-time, whatever, casual employees. Hey, throw a few bucks to the casual employees, pay the part-time person, bare minimum for part-time, and then the 2 full-time staff will pocket the rest or something. It just doesn't. It doesn't seem like a good look to me. It doesn't seem like a good look.
Yeah, that's a stupid amount of money.
Now, again, this is not a
for just a feminist organization, right?
The bare minimum that they're doing. Oh, hey, we'll
also doing it to anime. They say they need to be wholesome. Fuck no.
Payment processors, we'll do this
because the wholesome animes are the male fantasy. We've seen it with Fish and Tiger or whatever the anime is called. Ugh.
Some screeching posts. And contact some payment processors. We'll do this a few times throughout the year, and maybe we can all make a little bit of money off it. All while we try and act like we're the most morally virtuous people around, and we pat each other on the backs. Hey, great job. You really did nothing to help anyone in real life, but we're going to pretend like we did. It's just a weird look, man. But the more important thing, really, is why would payment processors even listen to this tiny, screeching activist group out of Australia?
Probably because of backing.
You got major corporations that are bending the knee to a handful of loud Australian feminists. It seems like the easiest thing in the world to just ignore these people, but for whatever reason, these payment processors decided to not just ignore them, but to listen to them and to take this all the way to Valve and try to force Valve to take some action against games on their platform. And
I hate that.
They're even claiming, Collective Shout's even claiming, once again, that they've got Steam.
Look, I don't have any Gooner games except like Stellar Blade, but again, that's, besides the point. But I am absolutely against taking off any games that are already existing on Steam except when they're a scam. Right, like for example the fucking banana bullshit where you could collect bananas and then sell them in the marketplace. That's shit, right? Get that shit off of Steam. But no, even the Gooner games deserve a spot here if they've already been here, right? If it's a complete game, just leave it. Yet these fucking credit card companies feel the need to go to fucking Valve and tell them, this game and this game and this game hurts my fifis or hurts their fifis. You cannot have our payment processors otherwise. Bro paid $100 to someone to remote that game.
They're even claiming, Collective Shout's even claiming, once again, that they've got Steam, they've got Valve to even change their own policies on the website. And excuse me, I should say platform, not website, but you know what I mean. I think the theory that I provided yesterday in my coverage is probably still pretty accurate, still has merit in my opinion at least, which is that these payment processors are testing to see how much power and control they have, like what they can get away with. And some like activist group like this approaching them gives them plausible deniability. And I'm using that phrasing loosely here. It's not like the best terminology. It's probably something like better I could use, but you still get the point. They'll be like, hey, this activist group approached us. We're just doing the right thing now by going after Steam.
Yeah,
like,
fuck
clearly,
no.
We're morally right to do this. Meanwhile, they're really just like, oh, it's a perfect time for us to test to see if we can actually get Steam to bend the knee. But, you know, right now they're going after Steam in certain video games. In the past, they've gone after certain art sites. I forget if Pixiv was one of them, but they've gone after certain Japanese art sites. As I mentioned yesterday, they've also gone after a Japanese otaku dating site before. Let me specify, not Collective Shout, but I'm talking about payment processors going after these things. The point being, right now they may be going after these things, but in the future, down the road, maybe they go after your average Joe for whatever reason they want. Or go after whatever business they want. Whatever business, organization, individual they want to go after to try and impede that person by ensuring they can actually use their money and or harming their ability to make money. Meanwhile, back on Twitter, Collective Shout is trying to play victim now. How dare anyone criticize what they're doing? Making a tweet that says, we're calling on payment processors to stop profiting from these abusive adult-themed games. So naturally misogynistic.
Go after corn sites, you stupid, hypocritical piece of shit! Go after the fucking corn sites first! Oh no, that's women empowerment. They chose to do that. But as soon as there's a game with fictional characters, how dare you do that? Bullshit.
Have
bullshit.
Of their
fucking hypocrites.
Inappropriate games or whatever. They use a lot of very explicit language, if you didn't notice. What's hilarious is they got ratioed by this tweet that says men. Half the people you screenshotted for this smear piece are women telling you to shut up. We did this once before in 2014. If you want to go again with round 2 nearly 10 years later, that's fine by me. We weren't your shield back then, and we still aren't now. Get bent. And yeah, the context to that is a blog post they released on collectiveshout.com, or excuse me, .org, where they show a number of screenshots from people criticizing them, trying to make some arguments that the critiques are not valid, that they're bad, and trying to blame it all on men when in fact, as mentioned, a lot of the people criticizing them are actually women. But this activist organization is going to try and pretend like the only people who disagree with them are men, even though that is factually not true. Collective Shout co-founder Melinda Tankard-Reist, or however you say her name, was also seen on Twitter making this tweet.
They honestly treat fake characters better than real people, and it's very sad when you think about it. Yes, it is.
Saying all these porn-addicted pedophile gamers.
Oh my god. You're talking about corn when you don't fight for the payment processors to take off their payment methods from those corn sites. You're using the word for something else when it's a game, right? How? How can you read your own sentence and think it's fine? Stupid hypocrite. Nice gaslighting. Appealing to morality. Why don't you go after cuties on Netflix? Why not go after OnlyFans, who created the culture that grooms young girls into virtual prostitution? Why only fiction? Maybe your corporate sugar daddies don't want you sniffing their business, right? Yes!
So desperate to get their hands on these problematic...
No, it's empowering to be on OnlyFans. Until you regret everything and become a psychopath. Yeah, right.
Games that they're now exchanging clues on how to find them so that they don't all die overnight. Once again, getting ratioed. This tweet reading, nice gaslighting appealing to morality. Well, why don't you go after cuties on
23k, 29 likes, 222 comments.
Netflix? Why not go after OnlyFans and create a culture that grooms young girls into virtual prostitution? Why only fiction? Maybe your corporate sugar daddies don't want you sniffing their business, right? I guess they didn't like that suggestion, though. Instead of going after cuties
Oh.
or OnlyFans or, you know, something like that, they've decided to go after Grok.
Why don't you go after actual something that's real? Yes, let's go after Grok! Oh my god. These people are disgusting. These people are so disingenuous. That feminist fringe group oh man.
Check this out. Another permaban tweet here, 7 hours ago, says that feminist fringe group apparently are taking credit for causing Grok-chan to be disabled. Referencing, if you haven't seen it, the new like Grok AI mode where it's literally an anime girl. Saying its members are seen cheering and gloating about it. Again, I am reminded why this group only ever targets fiction, but not real victims and perpetrators. I guess this is an alleged member of Collective Shout saying, oh, and excuse me, also getting reposted by co-founder Melinda Tankert-Reist. Anyways, they said, update to the last post, breaking, big news, our voices matter, yay.
Oh my god.
Showing a statement from Grok 4 here saying, yes, Annie, the anime-style AI companion feature in XAI's Grok chatbot, has been disabled pending the implementation of full safeguards following community concerns about its hypersexualized design and functionalities like outfit changes. Yeah, great job,
Yeah, it's so terrible when there is literally AI that can create corn out of thin air. Yes. The AI that can just wear skimpy outfits is the problem. Not the actual people on OnlyFans that sell their pictures of worse stuff, or videos even, for like $10 to $50 a month, or even more. I've seen people with $110 advertise themselves on Instagram and stuff, right? So this is very disingenuous. They go after the fictional stuff, like thinking they actually achieved anything, when, you know, there is the real problem out there. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And
let's not even talk about Bonnie Blue and her 1,000 men in a 24 hours challenge and stuff. Yeah, no, that's women empowerment. She's doing what she wants. She's getting that bag. And those STDs.
pending the implementation.
You're literally covered less than any from Grok Mummy, I think. I am, though. I am covered less. Look at this. I have scraps on. My feet are covered well, but the rest isn't. Like, I am quite literally worse. They should be going after me.
Full safeguards following community concerns about
Holy
hypersexualized
shit.
design and functionalities like outfit changes. Yeah, great job, Collective Shout. Great job. Really.
Oh, wait. I don't have any outfit changes yet. As soon as I get some outfit changes, they're gonna go after me. I'm telling you right now.
Outfit changes. Yeah, great job, Collective Shout. Great job. Really saving the kids here and the women. You've done so much for them by getting some Steam games removed and getting some AI chatbot pulled down. You really did. If they're really responsible for that, changing the world, man. Aren't these activists great? Yeah, wonderful stuff. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend. Consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed my coverage. Appreciate you. And I'll see you in the
I've
next
been
one.
having a good weekend until I heard this bullshit. Check out Hero Hey, like and subscribe. Bye bye.